Hello and welcome. In today's episode of Aspirational India, we bring you stories of inspiring men and women from across India who inspire, encourage and motivate. Ordinary people leading extraordinary lives. From young innovative minds who make edible crockery in Kolhapur to school and college students who are doing as much as possible to spread a little of what they have learnt among their less fortunate fellow children. These and more stories from across the length and breadth of India. Welcome once again. I'm Rukma with you. We take you first to Maharashtra's Kolhapur, where you can drink tea and coffee and bite, chew and swallow the cups and plates too. An effort at ultimately protecting the environment. And behind this incredible edible crockery are three young engineers. Eat it after you drink it. In this simple roadside tea stall in Maharashtra's Kolhapur, customers do not need to throw away the cups they drink in as they usually do. The slogan here is "Eat it after you drink it," and making it possible is a revolutionary concept of the Magnet Edible Cutlery Initiative. These unique cups are an extraordinary innovation, for one can actually eat them, made as they are from actual edible ingredients like wheat flour and maida, made in machines that four young engineers of Kolhapur have invented themselves. Once you finish your cup of tea, you can eat the cup as well, because they are what you call biscuit cups.
The environment needs to be protected, and whatever is good for it needs to be done. And that is our aim. After biscuit cups, we want to make spoons and plates. We want to wipe out plastic as much as possible by reducing its use where it is most applied.
Now their next target is spoons and plates as well, for which they have designed new machines. Plastic cups used in tea stalls have escalated the massive accumulation of plastic waste that is choking our earth. Paper cups are a good substitute, but they again lead to cutting down of forests, another source of environmental destruction. That was why these young engineers decided to do something about it, and came up with the idea of crockery and cutlery that can be eaten.
Plastic disposable cups, plates, and so on are a huge environmental hazard. Their use needs to be stopped, and they need to be replaced by eco-friendly materials. And it was this that inspired me and my friends to start Magnet Edible Cutlery. I got great help for this from the government, which provided almost all of the financial support.
And thus they took on the massive problem of single-use plastic that has slowly degraded the environment to a great extent beyond repair. These youth in Kolhapur clearly symbolize a new and vibrant India. An India that seeks solutions to problems created by past generations, solutions that can benefit not just one or two individuals, but countless across the world. Vikas Khoye and Mamta Bhatt in Kolhapur for DD India. No matter what you achieve, what you want to aspire to be, or how famous and powerful you become, the most important thing is whether you are excited about each and every moment of your life because of your work and people around you. Our next story is about one such personality. Paralyzed and elderly, he does the impossible, spending each day picking up plastic waste discarded by others into the rich natural environments of the Webnad wetland, protecting and preserving nature's beauty. The backwaters of Munnar in South India and this old boat, making its way slowly across the swampy, muddy waters, is a common sight here. But it is rowed by an extraordinary gentleman, environmentalist and octogenarian who is a paraplegic. For years, he has single-handedly and devotedly preserved the cleanliness of the environs, rowing up and down on his boat on a daily basis, collecting the garbage and plastic waste that others discard. He is N.S. Rajapan.
I am honored that PM Modi mentioned me in his Mann Ki Baat. I love that program and listen to it often. For years, I have collected all discarded plastic waste from these waters. It is work that I love.
Rajapan himself, being a paraplegic, can neither walk or stand on his own. Moreover, he has reached that time of life when most would turn themselves away from all worldly cares. But not this rugged resident of this beautiful area, frequented by numerous tourists every year, and famed worldwide for its beauty and diverse flora and fauna. He has never allowed anything to deter him from his devotion, making the daily trip down the waters of the Vembanadu. For 6 years now, he picks up the deadly plastic waste others discard without a thought and ensures the cleanliness of these beloved waters. Prime Minister Modi, in his Mann Ki Baat, had mentioned and lauded the greatness of Rajapan, who did not wait for aid or support from outside, but has been doing such great work on his own selflessly and in self-reliance. Bureau Report, DD India. It's time now for a short break. We'll be right back, but there's more up ahead on Aspirational India. Stay tuned.
We received 175,000 AstraZeneca vaccines from the government of India for the benefit of several Caribbean countries, including Antigua and Barbuda. In fact, Prime Minister Modi would have demonstrated perhaps the most significant act of benevolence, of kindness, and certainly of empathy that would have seen within recent times compared to any act of any other leader globally.
He cannot see but is blessed with other unique qualities. His name is entered into the India Book of Records. What unique gifts make this little boy so special? How have his family and he himself coped with the difficulty of their situation? Take a look at more in this report. Meet Medhansh, Sirsa's wonder boy, who at this young age has registered a place for himself in the India Book of Records. Blind since birth, Medhansh has the unique ability to tell you exact days of specific dates, 30 years ago and 30 years later. You can pick out any date you like. It may have happened 10, 20, even 30 years ago. He can tell you whether it was a Monday, a Tuesday or a Wednesday or whichever other day of the week it was or could be in the future. His achievements have even reached the ears of Chief Minister of Haryana, Manohar Lal Khattar, who has wished him on Facebook, lauding his achievements and efforts. Despite his handicap, Medhansh's parents never sent him to special schools. They did not want him to be singled out as a special child. Despite obstacles posed by various school authorities, they persisted, and their son did not disappoint.
And जो इसको ये गोल्ड मेडल जो इसका रिकॉर्ड सेट हुआ है.
The entire credit for Midhansh's success goes to no one else but Midhansh himself, because his success is God-gifted. They say both nature and nurture matter. I do agree, but all that we have done is to encourage him and not make him feel special. His name in the Idea Book of Records and his gold medal are all because of his God-gifted abilities.
Midhansh has participated in numerous competitions. His accurate and quick answers in rapid-fire rounds in particular have astounded onlookers. Midhansh himself is self-confident and clear about his goals.
मुझे 30 साल पीछे और 30 साल
I can quote each and every day 30 years ago and 30 years later. I was asked 100 questions and I answered each of them correctly. That's why my name is in the India Book of Records and I was given a gold medal. It makes me very happy.
While Midhansh's skill in calculations enable him to correctly name the day for every date he is asked, and this may be a special gift, there is no doubt that the determination and confidence reposed in him by his parents and family have contributed greatly to his success and personality. Truly, a living example of how nurture can enhance and improve upon what nature has bestowed. Gulab Singh Seha from Sirsa for DD India. If you can't do it for yourself, you do it for all the other young souls who need to be shown that things are possible, that they too can do what they think or dream of. Our next story is of a few young girls in Bilaspur who are not just studying themselves but teaching others too. In their case, the children of migrant daily laborers. Saddled with a heavy study load themselves, they spare no effort in distributing just a little, as much as they possibly can among those less fortunate than themselves. The town of Bilaspur in Madhya Pradesh. These children belong to families of migrant laborers, and once all they did was sell balloons on their bicycles. Bilaspur is perhaps a town like any other in India, and from here too there are stories that are sowing the seeds of change and speak of changing mindsets and aspirations. A number of young girls in this town have taken it upon themselves the task of educating the children of migrant laborers who live with their parents on the outskirts every week. They spend the weekends teaching these children the basics like the alphabets and numbers. They also talk to them of manners, cleanliness and sanitation. Supporting them in this is the Red Cross Society.
Volunteer Red Cross Society.
We come here as volunteers every Saturday and to teach these children. We teach them letters and numbers and a few basic calculations. We want them to learn and maybe give them a little of the opportunities we have so that they too can have a proper childhood.
Most of the children of migrant laborers rarely, if ever, have access to any education of any kind. Neither do they have the basic facilities or amenities that we take so much for granted and are easily available to most of us.
ये जो हमने प्रोजेक्ट स्टार्ट किया है बच्चों को पढ़ाने का.
Our project is actually for our inner peace. What's important is what makes us happy. We want to give these children a chance in life. We can't do much for them, but we are trying. More than learning, we stress on basic sense, basic manners, which are very important for our lives. If we can teach them a little of these things, we can improve our own. We can understand them better. We can coordinate better. It is better for us to teach them, so our conversation with them improves.
These young children are, without knowing, performing a supremely important task. Not only are they contributing greatly to the spread of literacy among the most neglected of India's population, but are in turn enriching their own lives.
This work with the Red Cross is something I look forward to a great deal. The aim is to teach these children a few basics of living and learning. Being a medical student myself, I have a very tight schedule, but I always make the time on weekends to spend a few hours with them and help them out. They too should have an opportunity to learn something and have access to an education. It gives me great satisfaction.
For the children themselves, deprived of a normal childhood, as they travel and move in search of work, these classes are a boon, a glimpse of the childhood they can never have and perhaps never will.
I really like coming to these classes. It makes me happy to read and write.
To sell balloons earlier, the lockdown led to great difficulties financially for our parents. These classes give us hope that we are cared for and we too can do something.
It is young people like these boys and girls of Bilaspur who are representative of a new India, sowing the seeds of education and learning among the most marginalized and neglected. Children whose own parents can never hope to provide them even with time or the basic amenities. It is they who are building the future and themselves in the process. Ajay Upadhyay in Bilaspur, DD India. India has always been the land of rich culture, heritage, perfection in the arts. In some cases, crafts we may never have heard of. We now present a report that opens your eyes to a unique art form from Ladakh with a strong spiritual thread. Far up in the north of India, a stark yet lovely landscape, peaceful and serene of white sand and stone. In Leh, a unique tradition is coming back to life again, thanks to the initiative of these men from village Tia, 100 kilometers near Leh. For long inspired by the teachings of the Buddha and living by them, they are busy carving these mantras into these rocks that will be implanted far and wide across the land, a tradition passed down the generations. Spurred on by an NGO, the aim is to construct a mani, a traditional wall of the Buddha's teachings. It is believed that reciting these teachings or mantras bring joy, peace, and compassion in a person.
During the COVID pandemic, I came upon the idea of this work in order to provide some form of occupation to help people spend the time to carve out Buddhist mantras on stone in the style of men, a wall of teachings for peace and tranquility. Now both old and young are deeply involved in this project. The plan is therefore to implant these carved stones across the land.
A remarkable tradition, forged in long adherence to the words of Gautam Buddha, spreading a message of peace and happiness for all. As lockdowns across states led to plenty of free time, it provided a wonderful opportunity to go back to great customs of the past. Many of those involved in this project are retirees. Others are working men, while still others are still learning the basics of the art as they carry on a bit of the cultural tradition that is so unique to them. Morok Tenzing and Ramesh Chandra's report, DD India. We now slip into a very short break, but there's more up ahead, so stay with us.
Namaste India.
Namaste land.
Marhaban ila al-Hind.
Zari India.
Salam India. Namaste India.
Namaskar Bharata.
Muy
Nous
India.
sommes l'Inde.
نحن هنود إنديا
माँ हिंदी हस्ती
مون هنديان
सलाम हिंदुस्तान
We are India.
Your window to rising India. India's voice on global platforms. Latest news from India and around the world. In-depth analysis of global headlines. Watch DD India in your country. Available for downlink in all Southeast Asian countries. STTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 17 at 93.5 degrees east. HDTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 10 at 83 degrees east. For technical details, scan here. Switch to DD India now.
And as the need to use more and more products that are biodegradable rises exponentially, there are many who are continually searching for ways to fulfill this need. Our next story is about one such person. Walking along the campus one day, Professor Varghese came across the dried leaves of a coconut tree one day. They set him thinking, why not make straws with them? Studying the idea for days with his students, he came upon a plan and the technology to do just this. Work started with small machines that the group made. The professor realized that a small experiment could actually become a large enterprise and provide employment to many, especially women on the outskirts. He began the process of training rural women from Madurai, Kasargod, Tuticorin and elsewhere and set up machines for them. They have received an order for 25 lakh straws. Every year, a single coconut tree sheds 6 large leaves that have to be burnt in huge numbers. Clearly, making eco-friendly straws is a much better way to dispose of them. And women are benefiting greatly as the work is simple and easy and pays well.
Production centers are mostly near villages. I haven't shown that. At about 5-minute walking distance. So it's employment that is easily accessible. All the units are close to villages across Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Karnataka. More and more women are getting involved in this work and they are very happy.
Production centers or units for this new innovation are mostly near villages. Much better than plastic. These eco-friendly straws are totally chemical-free. The professor himself propagates the benefits of such straws. In South India, where coconut water is drunk as a staple, they are a boon. Orders are flooding in, most from abroad rather than India, from countries like Belgium, the United States and Malaysia. In India, it's only big hotels and high-end restaurants that use them. They are more durable too than paper and can be stored for nearly 6 months.
This is an initiative that clearly embodies the concepts of Atmanirbhar Bharat and Vocal for Local. Because they are globally more popular, they can also be said to be an example of local to global.
Professor Saji Varghese wants to increase the number of such units so that more women can become financially independent, stable and empowered. In 2020, he was rightly awarded for his splendid startup that is not only environment friendly It is the road to an Atmanirbhar Bharat. In an altering economic landscape post-COVID, it is efforts like the professors that are making all the difference. Aisha Khanam in Bangalore for DD India. Well, that's all we have for you in this edition of Aspirational India this week. We'll be back again next week with more stories that motivate and inspire and encourage. We hope you enjoyed our show. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.